Howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. I value the times like this while I'm making videos, when I can wave my arm around like I just don't care. Because, oh boy, do I ever care. I mean, it has so negatively affected my quality of life. It is not even funny. The periods of time when I can do this are very short, and then I have to just not use it. And of course, to continue the complaint train, I have stopped taking caffeine tablets for my blood pressure. Problem is, because I actually do have ADHD, stimulants calm my mind down. So I took a 200 milligram caffeine tablet and I could sleep because it made my mind work normal enough that it could relax and sleep. But because of my blood pressure, I have not been taking the 200 milligram caffeine tablet. I'm not going through caffeine withdrawal because I'm still drinking caffeinated beverages. But I'm not taking the big 200 milligrams right before I go to bed. It is so hard to sleep. I went to bed early and it took a very long time. And I was awake well before 6 o'clock. I cannot sleep without stimulants. I could take Ritalin and fall asleep. That was one of the big problems with taking Ritalin, is I would take the tablet and as soon as it started to kick in, I'd start to get drowsy because my mind would be working properly enough that it could relax and I could rest. But now, because of my blood pressure, and I don't want to die, I need to, well, I mean, we're all going to die, and I hate that fact, but life is life. I need to start taking my blood pressure so I can check and make sure that this is working along with the blood pressure med that I'm taking, which I have been getting used to. I could probably start taking it at midnight instead of at 6 o'clock, and it would maybe get rid of most of the unpleasant side effects that I was having. But now, while I'm still feeling awake when I wake up, I don't feel like crashing around noon and 1 o'clock. I still sometimes fall asleep, but I used to do that before anyway. And then Again, I have mentioned before that I hate ADHD. Right in the middle of this sentence, my mind has been wiped. I have no idea what my topic was that I was just talking about. It's like someone just hit the reset button while I was talking. Mid-sentence. Ah. Yeah, I love ADHD. Anyway though, taking a look at my list, one of the things that is nice is because I almost, well, I wasn't in any danger of falling because I was taking things slow. But because I had tried to roll my chair and instead of rolling, it wanted to tip over because the back was lifting, I went and talked to them this morning and I got a new chair. They don't have new chairs per se, but they went looking and places and found one. And so it moves around. It's still terrible. I'm still going to have to invest in a new chair, just like I invested in a new bedside lamp type thing, because the one that they gave me and everyone else is horrible. Nice that they gave it to us. I mean, it functioned. Didn't function great, but it functioned. And so that was awesome. The chairs function. And so that's awesome. I need them to function well, though. Life is life. But I did get the new chair. It does roll around much better. It's probably going to lock up before too long, but life is life. And it was around 10 o'clock this morning. I was doing something, and then suddenly I saw motion out of my corner of my eye, and I was like, yay, my lights had flicked on the timer. So that's a good thing. And while I'm on that one, you know, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. I take ADHD meds, but I'll talk about that in a moment because, oh my God, flashing lights, the flashing lights. Wow. I forgot the topic because it was on the flashing lights. I might as well talk about this one though. I do take ADHD meds, but one of them is Wellbutrin, an antidepressant, because an off-label use is to help you focus a little better if you have ADHD. And guanfacine, a blood pressure med that has an off-label use for treating some of the physical side effects of ADHD. So you don't feel like, thrumming your leg. If you're one of those knee bouncers, you know what I mean. You don't feel like doing that sort of stuff so much. But that's not treating ADHD. So I am having very severe symptoms today, and my sincere apologies. Oh wait, do remember the losartan. Yeah, the blood pressure med. At one point I was talking about that. I have gotten used to most of the side effects. Or if it's them making the side effects of gabapentin more exacerbated, I'm getting more used to that, so it's good. I just wish the whole ADHD part, I just wish my brain worked. My life would have been so much different if I had had an actually functional brain. Yay. Taking a look on my list though. Oh yes, I saw something as a tweet that was not supposed to be ominous. But my mind is always working on that sort of level. But it was like, some of these exist, and then it was supposed to be a list. But my head just went, some of these exist. No, that's... Some of these exist. And so, after all, they're pointing at, the marks that they've made, the creatures that they've seen that they can't really fully cognitively interpret, because there's other parts of them that our brains literally cannot understand. And so some of these exist. And I had come up with the idea of, years ago, I had posited that some of the adherents of the cosmic horrors would have glyphs, just forms that they make to go, this is who, this is Gotzi Ray, or this is Erugatz. And Gotzi Ray is just like an eye, and then jagged squiggly line for the maw and the teeth. And so it would be, some of these exist, and then the glyph for Gotzi Ray. And of course, some of these exist with the glyphs for the others, like Erugatz would be a cheap spider. Such like that. And, Asatarasi, satyr, would be a cheap, it looked like a sawhorse, but it's more like a praying mantis. And all of these glyphs, some of these exist. They can't really tell you exactly what they look like and what they are, but they know that they're out there. They can't give you that information in any way that makes sense, and it's driving them crazy, but they know what they've got to do something. And that's literally, it's driving them crazy. Yay for cosmic horrors. I love it. So, that's that on that. I've got a not very pleasant thing coming up, but I'm going to talk about the movie Django. But first, I've really been listening a lot. Now, I can't remember if I talked about this here because I mentioned it before on Twitter, which, I get like 4 people that read my tweets, so yay. But I've been listening to a lot of Glorb, which I've talked about before. The weird thing about it, though, of course, is it's a bunch of diss tracks. First against just, Squidward, Mr. Swags and his crew against Dankton, and Karen. And it's just diss tracks back and forth, but it's just against an AI visualizer. And on the AI visualizer ones, I just enjoy the sound. I can't really understand the lyrics. They're not written down, and it's not a very good vocalizer. So really you have to go more with just the rhythm and the flow. Then they started putting the vocals in for them. Then they started doing animations. Once they went from animations, it stopped being like people in a studio doing a diss track, other person in a studio doing a diss track, person in a studio doing a diss track, song to song to song to song, and then they became, here's the story, and it's a Dankton-oriented diss track about the story as it's unfolding. And then the next one would be, you know, a Mr. Swags and his crew oriented diss track about the story even as it's happening. And then it went on like that until the last couple of them. They started off just cheap AI visualizers to very primitive animations to pretty good animations to, oh my God, they are professional level. It is absolutely amazing. And the music, though, which is what I was bringing this up about. There's this one song that I really like that is a independent song in the middle of all these diss track things. It's about Larry the Lobster. And it's Larry the Lobster talking about he pumps iron, he takes care of himself. There's even some actual wholesome stuff in it, because at one point he's talking about a bunch of bodybuilders. And he talks about the Trend Twins, and then there's a fellow 10 Pins, and then they talk about, and as Ziz said, XYZZ, we're all gonna make it, brah. And Ziz was a Russian bodybuilder who was known for his positivity, made a whole bunch of videos, and it was like, yeah, as Ziz says, we're all gonna make it, brah. Unfortunately, Ziz passed away because even though they insisted they did not juice, they did in fact. And that is so bad for your system, and they paid for it at a very young age, unfortunately. But it's a great song. But people have been talking about the whole Glorb diss track series stuff and going, is this the artist Yeet? And in the song, Larry, at one point, I did talk about this, where he says, oh, they say, are you Yeet? I don't know, so here's a bell. And Yeet, a lot of Glorb's tracks have been along Yeet being the artist, and they use a very distinctive beat style that a lot of the diss tracks really follow. And this one really follows it. I had to surmise, because at first I was like, you know, they say this, they say this, they say this, and then Yeet apparently does a bell. And then I've been listening to the Yeet album, and I can't remember if I said this before, and if I'm repeating myself, I am very sorry. But at one point, I'm listening to the album, oh God, his first studio album, and the one song, it's like, I got mud in my cup, something along those lines. I'm listening to that, and it's like, that's the beat of the Larry the Lobster one. And one of the reasons I really like the Yeet beat is because, well, I'm gonna have to come back to this one. And then the bell was used in the next song. So it was like, yeah, and the whole Larry the Lobster thing, when they say, are you Yeet? I don't know, here's a bell. It's like, but one of the reasons I do like this artist Yeet. Most of their stuff, not everything. I mean, just like most of people in the rap scene, a lot of the songs are about just bragging. And when you do that, because if you're a male rapper, there's a lot of objectification still, and I don't like the songs that are specifically about that. But a lot of the other songs that aren't that are really good, and I'm enjoying that. But a lot of pop songs have, to my neurodivergent mind, a very round feeling to the beat. It rolls easily, and it's just a very round feel. You listen to that song and it feels round. Yeet's beats and others like him don't make a round beat. It's more, well, any shape you would like to think of it as, so that as it rolls, it's not even and they don't hit as hard on each impact. But then when it does the circle, it's gone a full cycle and starts the next one, and that feels really, really good to my neurodivergent head. So they are very kind of asymmetrical beats that become symmetrical in that they are a beat. They keep repeating, and I like that stuff. But with that one song and then the bell, I felt really clever going, oh yeah, look, this 61-year-old white boy who don't know nothing was able to identify a beat and a sound that everybody else in the world has already done. But even though I am just a 61-year-old white boy who don't know nothing, I still enjoy music. And while rap and all of its various subgenres and types of genres and whatever type of genre is like psychedelic rap for someone like Yeet, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of definitions, but now I got sidetracked on that. But I really enjoy that, and I try to just listen to things that I enjoy. I don't listen to a lot of stuff. I spend most of my time in actual silence. And when it's not silence, I'm watching a video. And most of the time, when I want to have music on, you know what I actually listen to? It's dark ambient horror. Cyclopean, the King in Yellow. The group Cyclopean does ambient albums of about 40 minutes in length of themes based around Lovecraftian stuff. And they've got a lot of albums of just ambient, Lovecraftian themed, and then each specific album has a type of theme to it, like the dark ambient Lovecraftian At the Mountains of Madness. But I love just listening to this dark horror ambient. Yay! At the same time, when I'm also doing things, I like to, fire up like some Yeet or Larry, or as I was on Twitter the other day and somebody was, I am waving my arm around like I really don't care, and it is sparkling, so I need to put this down. Oh boy. But this person on Twitter was talking about this one artist, Easy Mac. E-A-Z-Y-M-A-C. So I went back and I was looking at their YouTube repertoire, library, and I like the sound. A lot of it, again, because of the genre, is bragging and absolute, just total objectification to the point of being offensive, but there you go. But with the rest of it, if you ignore those songs, I really like it. Again, more psychedelic rap. Yeet's less psychedelic rap, but has some, and Easy Mac is definitely in that psychedelic rap genre. And so I've really started listening to a lot of that. And so thumbs up. Yay. And now I'm going to talk about the movie Django, but I'm not really talking about the movie Django. Now, I watch a lot of movie reactions, even now, if they're on a movie that I've liked and I'm feeling in the mood, and I periodically watch reactions to the movie Django. Django is a great movie, but oh my God, is it hard to watch. And I don't mean bad, I mean it is uncomfortable and painful. The way the N-word flows like water out of people's mouths, whom in the fictional world setting should never have coming out of their mouths. It hurts. And I'm one of those white boys that when I watched it and when I watch these reactions, it's like comes to the end of the movie, it's like, you know, yeah, Django, you go back and those white people, they need to be. But back to the movie and what I'm talking about. Now, hopefully I have not turned off too many people, and if you've watched, then Django is good in the comments to let me know. Thumbs up. But one of the characters of the dentist is a very, very principled man. I mean, incredibly principled. He had his ethics, his morals, his honor. And he knew it was right and he knew it was wrong. And there's a point in the movie where they've gotten everything that they have wanted because they've gone in to rescue Django's wife. And they've, in the middle of a very tense and horrible situation, have finally gotten what they wanted. And they're about to leave when the plantation owner, Calvin, tells the dentist that unless they shake hands, there is no deal. I really, I'm also burping and hiccuping in the middle of talking. I am really getting worked up. I can feel my heart pounding. But the dentist and most of the people I've seen watching this in reactions don't get it. They just say, why didn't he just shake his hand? Because when he got up there, he instead used his little trick gun and bang, and Calvin went down. And the dentist did it knowing that he was next. And he was. There was one gal I was watching that, even though it was just one line, she understood. When she said I understand. He wouldn't have been able to live with himself. And yep, that handshake would have broken him. It would have been worse than dying. I gotta wipe my eyes. It would have been worse than dying for him. He wouldn't have been able to look himself in the mirror. I know it's a fictional character, but there are people in the real world that do have principles. And sometimes when those principles are pushed, they have to stand to them. Like if you are complicit in something horrible, but just getting out of the organization that's doing the horrible thing won't stop the horrible thing. Whether you're complicit or not, it's going to still happen. And in the real world, sometimes people just can't shake that hand. And knowing that they're next, they have to do what they have to do. Because when they're back against the wall, their back is against the wall of their principles, of their knowing what is right and wrong, their ethics and morals. Sometimes they're next. And I understand it. It is not a thing I think I could do. I think I'm too much of a coward, and I would just not be able to look at myself in the mirror for the rest of my, however long my life managed to be after that. But I understand. And hopefully, even though I'm trying to be as not topical as possible, I do hope I am understood, and I hope people watch and understand. Anyway though, now that I've gotten myself worked up a whole bunch of times, and again, if you have watched this far, sticky saliva. If you have watched this far, thank you so very much. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. And for everybody who is a Patreon patron, it is appreciated. Thumbs up and thank you. You take me from a really hurting monkey to a hurting monkey. I used to be a Christmas monkey getting hosed on the regular, but now I'm just a hurting monkey, and that is such an improvement. Thank you. For everybody that leaves me comments, it is appreciated. With this going on, I try to answer as much as I can. This is already much more sparkly than it should be because I've been an idiot while I've been talking. Yay! But each and every comment is read and appreciated. Thumbs up, thank you so very much. I'm going to try and take it easy for the rest of the day. I have the second half of a video. Got a pen. The second half of a video to edit and render. I have the first half of Fallout New Vegas to go live later. So hopefully you can get done the things that you need to get done. That would be very cool. So until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. And yeah, so no fancy editing. Just you take care, and I'll talk to you all later.